Welcome back to Kayaking Scotland's Roof and our continuing journey. Day 7. Leaving Port Odhar, we paddle west, then south to Sheigra, around the mighty Cape Wrath headland. Just a few highlights from this video. Okay, so moving on from day 6, we've already paddled most of the north coast. We continue to head westward, marked in orange, from Port Odhar to Cape Wrath, the most northwesterly point of Scotland, then head south to a sheltered bay at Sheigra. This part of our journey was the most committing of the entire trip, travelling this remote exposed coastline past huge sheer cliffs, over and around exposed reefs in very challenging conditions, often many miles from viable landing points. Day 7, we wake to blue skies and a smattering of white clouds, which would change to mist rolling in over the cliffs and then thicken to a grey Scottish haar later. A lovely cuppa and the usual porridge to set me up for the day. But my camp spot always resembles a bomb site. Things looks highly organised as usual.
Yeah, I'm being serious, look at that.
Well, that's all laid out and lovely. Mine's like a right tip. Derek too is always a hive of industry and already packing his tent. I'd only just finished my breakfast. Note to self, get up and get organised earlier. It wasn't long though before all the gear was packed and boats loaded. Today was going to be a long one, with over 20 miles to reach our next camp spot at Sheigra. Beautiful stunning views, bright blue sky and a flat calm sea. Scotland's north coast at its very best. We didn't travel far before encountering amazing features.
There should be a bit more crack.
Yeah, they are. There's Bomber's Island. Wonder how big it was before I started bombing it. Amazing wildlife too, as this razorbill floats close by, hardly concerned at all. There you go. And then all the usual seabirds. Yep. And a small raft of guillemots floats by before diving for cover. There's a waterfall there. Stunning. I was out off Kearvaig just fishing one night. Bloody dolphin came up alongside, didn't it? Straight under the boat. You know when something takes you by surprise? It's just like, whoa! Rounding the corner, the remaining north coast comes into view westward, with its vista of huge, impressive cliffs and headlands. Impressive cliffs now along this stretch, but these were just a build-up to the mighty cliffs at Chlò. They are. Cliff ledges are alive with nesting seabirds, and the air is filled with their cries. That's incredible. Sheer cliffs with shaky looking huge rock buttresses gradually being dislodged by great storms that pound this coastline. birds take to the air, so we head seaward to try and avoid the inevitable.
They're just chilled, aren't they? Look at these.
Some, however, appear totally relaxed, presumably resting as they digest their catch.
You go through the arch.
Sadly, the path through was blocked by huge rocks.
Yeah, can't get through. This is just superb, isn't it? Stunning. We came round the corner, it looked really atmospheric. Great.
The rock sticking out about halfway up. Just to the right.
Definitely eating. Just stuck its head up.
Passing the staggering cliffs of Chlò at over 650 feet. Constant rockfalls over the years, depositing immense stone blocks weighing hundreds of tons.
It's huge, isn't it? Only on the left, might be alright.
To avoid further seal disturbance, we chose this narrow gully.
No handholds on that one, Will.
Will is an experienced climber, so I knew we'd be looking at possible routes.
So how the hell do you climb that? Two eagles. Corner of the bay, left hand. Just soaring round. Look at that. Magnificent. Just rising round.
Our lunch spot west of Kearvaig Bay afforded us superb views east with Stac Clò Kearvaig off its headland. Low mist was starting to roll over the cliffs to thicken and produce fog banks out to sea, eventually producing a cold, damp har later.
The head's going to look brilliant, especially if we can see the lighthouse.
Thickening mist now closing in over a distant Cape Wrath headland. The tricky rocky inlet with old jetty and slip is the closest accessible landing point to Cape Wrath Lighthouse, with a 4x4 track leading across a wild, desolate landscape. The remote Cape Wrath headland is a mile further west. The only other landing is a further 6 to 7 miles south at Sandwood Bay, with an inevitable big surf landing.
It's a bit quiet in there. No. No go. No.
The feeling of remoteness is ever present. My thoughts while paddling turn to what this magnificent place is truly like for most of the year, with huge seas pounding the coastline. I can't even comprehend what winter storms must be like. Where? Whereabouts? The The kayakers turned out to be Bill Quinton and his wife Royanne, and 2 others of his group, Fiona and Lindsey. What an unlikely chance of meeting them, as we all enjoyed such a beautiful and remote location.
Crowded around here today, isn't it?
Conditions like this very often.
No, dead right. Take it while you can.
A shout out to Bill Quinton, followed by his wife Royanne.
Cheers. Lovely. Right.
And the other 2 members of Bill's group, Fiona and Lindsey, but sorry, I'm not sure who's who. We spent a little time investigating the arches and gullies before moving off in search of lighthouse views. A misty view of Cape Wrath's Foghorn. I needed to be further out to see the lighthouse, but it would probably have been obscured by mist. The sea state changed dramatically now, once around the extreme northwest point. The ruggedly exposed westerly facing shoreline suddenly took on a more sinister look. A relaxed game had to evolve into a more active paddling style to suit the challenging conditions, and maybe enjoy a little playtime too. Did I mention being relaxed? This really wasn't the place to be doing a camera battery change, now was it?
Woo! That one came over the top.
Well, the sea state had upped its game, but the coastal features had also gone up several notches too. This was incredible.
Oh, stream's going.
Oh wow, what do we have here? Gullies with tidal streams. This would be interesting.
Just a bit. Pushing it. You need to ride it. Try to ride it.
Well, here goes. Let's see what a pig's ear I can make of it. Rather lucky, I'd say. Sadly, the tidal stream in there pushed Steve offline, but handled it with style.
Oh!
Great work, Steve.
You're tired as shit, Steve.
We keep having to remind ourselves we're in fully laden boats that don't respond easily. Ah, nice one, but would I be as lucky this time? Derek and Steve executed this perfectly. The pressure was on now. Oops, a little support stroke in the surge there.
That was a big suck back, that one.
And still tide running through this one too. Despite the now grey, dreary day, the coastal features and challenging conditions more than made up for it.
Whoa! You seen the shags? It's impressive.
This section of coastline was seriously impressive, with constantly changing rock strata eroded in so many different ways, forming beautiful caves.
Is it a slab?
A huge rock slab barred our way through this one.
No way through. Some big ones, John.
Ooh, a cheeky little section this.
How might want a hand yet.
We'd been on the water for several hours now, so the sight of this beach for a leg stretch just north of Sandwood Bay was quite welcoming, perhaps with less surf too. This was only a short stop, as there was still around 6 or more miles to reach Sheigra.
Aye.
Passing the wide expanse of Sandwood Bay, which ironically had relatively small surf breaks and totally sheltered spots behind the reefs. We continued south with its interesting and beautiful coastline, enjoying its cliffs and reef sections despite the mist. Steve has a close encounter of the otter kind that swam straight towards him.
Yeah. So he's coming straight for you. That Stac's magic, isn't it? What are the islands called?
The impressive sea stack sat on an angular slab reef, looking quite precarious as the lower portion was eroded through in several places. The smaller stack looked even more sorry for itself, with supporting arches looking quite unstable.
That's awesome.
It was a real joy paddling along this section, weaving our way through between the reefs.
You good, Derek?
Views back up the coast now, with features eerily disappearing into the mist.
Excellent. Whoa! Didn't see that. Oh, just scraped over that. Careful.
The power of the sea noticeable through this gully, with a huge block toppled and wedged against the side. The base rock strata, like great slipways and massive blocks on them weighing hundreds of tons, just looked like they were waiting to be launched into the sea like some newly built ship. Such an absolutely stunning day with so much variety to enjoy as sea kayakers delight the entire way. Large cliffs giving way to a crumbling shoreline strewn with broken rock. We finally rounded the last point to arrive at Sheigra Bay and our well-earned camp spot for the night. The mist wasn't doing us any favours now. Without exercise, the damp har was cooling us all down rapidly, so it was now time for a swift, hearty meal. The area in the dunes directly behind the beach must have been a local beauty spot, so we commandeered the picnic bench for our damp evening social, recounting an outstanding day's paddling. Our leisurely trip route had little over 21 miles, shown here in two sections for greater detail, took nearly 9 hours, but was well worth every minute. An iconic trip and every kayaker's dream. Sampling remoteness, tidal flows, sea stacks, arches, caves, impressive headlands, huge cliffs, outstanding sea conditions and incredibly beautiful scenery. What a fantastic day this had been. I hope you've enjoyed being with us on our incredible journey today. Please join us in episode 8 where we travel from our camped spot here at Sheigra to Skourie as we circumnavigate Handa's western side, including some epic kayaking to finish. See you then. Enjoyed this video? Then click on the recommended thumbnails for more outstanding videos. Please like, subscribe and share with friends.